So what are we up to this morning? We are going to cycle to Liverpool, to the docks, have a look at what's going on at conference, what the atmosphere is. Starting off after I walk the dock. See you later. So we just left Manchester, we're on the Bridgewater Canal, then we are going to go on Route 61 or 62, which takes us all the way to Runcorn, about 50k to go. So we are now on the Route 62, or is it 61, can't remember, that takes us all the way to Southport. We are just going to go to Liverpool. About 50k to go. So not much to talk about the Labour conference yet. Maybe let's go back to what happened at the Tory conference. Did anyone see the Penny Mordaunt speech? Freedom! Stand up and fight! If you stand up, your neighbor stand up! If your neighbor stands up, the nation stands up! If the nation stands up, other nations will stand up! What a whole lot of bollocks. However, freedom seems to have been a big topic at party conference. It's the party of freedom. It's not defined though. What do they mean by talking about freedom? Freedom not to pay taxes? Freedom to pollute our rivers? Put rare sewage in it? Freedom to stop your right to protest? Freedom to define that you're not human anymore. The Tories are good at using platitudes that do not require definition. Like freedom means something else for everyone. And it means, as such, it means nothing. And it's absolutely bizarre. I will have a link of in the description of Penny Mordaunt's speech if anyone can be bothered to look at it. Absolutely bizarre. Talking about Freedom Party, or freedom being an important definition of the Tory party, it's telling that our Prime Minister likes the freedom to tell absolute lies. So he cancels just 2. It just shows the contempt he has the English vote on, and in particularly the people of North. And he comes up with a whole list of projects that the 32 billion or 30 odd billion are supposed to go on. New projects that are supposed to make up for losing out on HS2. However, like hours after, it's becoming obvious that there is actually no new projects that this money is going to be spent on. It's a bit ironic that Labour is holding its conference in Liverpool, though working class. In Liverpool has been shunning the sun since Hillsborough. Yet we have a Labour Party about which we haven't got much to say about policy yet, because they are afraid of papers like the Sun. When truth and facts do no longer seem to matter with one of our biggest parties in the country, it's not surprising that the person who had the biggest pull factor at the Conservative conference and drew the biggest crowds was Nigel Farage. Says it all, doesn't it? What an asteroid. Talking to William from Get PR Done outside the Labour Party conference in Liverpool.
Yes.
So William, why do we need PR?
We need PR because we need to have more voices in our parliament. At the moment there are only ever two parties. We live in a duopoly in the United Kingdom, and it's always either the Conservative Party and sometimes the Labour Party. In the last 100 years we've had 2/3 of the parliaments have been Conservative and only 1/3 of them have been Labour, and that's only two voices. The world is a very, very, very different place from what it was when the system was formulated over 150 years ago. Most Western democracies now have proportional representation. We're very unusual in the UK to still have the very outdated, unfit for purpose first past the post. The only other big countries that have got first past the post are the United States of America, and look what a mess that is in, and then also in Canada. Canada is doing a lot of work to try and get PR. New Zealand very recently went over to the PR side. It's a proven fact that countries that have PR are happier, the citizens are happier, they are better taken care of, they are more productive. It's a win-win situation. The big parties don't like it.
Say to those people, I completely agree with you, but what do you say to those people who keep saying, yeah, but then we get really extreme parties into Parliament?
My immediate answer to that is it is up to the parties who get into power to make sure that that doesn't happen. They need to come up with policies, they need to come up with practices, they need to do what they say they're going to do. The number of manifesto pledges that have been broken over my lifetime is immense. Politicians say things and then they don't follow through. There's a huge distance now between what they're saying and what they're actually doing, and it disenfranchises people. It makes people very fed up. There's always the possibility that extreme voices will get represented. Will get into the House.
We'll get Suella Braverman, I suppose.
There's but she's done it she's done it through the Conservative Party.
Exactly.
You know, they get in by hook or by crook. But the thing about, Braverman, but no sane person wants to have extreme government. It's a recipe for disaster. You know,
completely agree.
Complete recipe for disaster. But PR, I must stress, PR is not a silver bullet. It's not going to solve all our problems.
No.
It's not. But what it does is it opens up the discourse. It makes the electorate.
It should make democracy relevant again.
exactly. This idea that one party can rule the country is, well, I mean, the Conservatives done a magnificent idea.
We are now in a situation where we are on the second non-elected by the greater public Prime Minister who's tearing up their manifesto on which they got elected on, and there's nothing we can do.
And there's nothing we can do about it. And when you have proportional representation, you would have many more voices in Parliament. Now, a lot of politicians don't like it because it means that they don't get the rubber stamp.
Exactly.
But why should they have a rubber stamp?
Do you think we are going to get PR under Labour?
It won't be in the first Parliament. Because it won't be, because they're not. It's very unlikely that they're going to put it in the manifesto, and it's such a huge change that it will have to be part of the manifesto. It will have to be part of the reason why people vote for them. The vast majority of people who are questioned about this, who know what the difference is between PR and first past the post, the vast majority of people in this country support it. So it is only a matter of time, and I would just say to Keir Starmer, what are you waiting for? Do it.
Thank you very much, Will. Okay, with Gareth here from Sodom. Gareth, why is it still important to try and get back into the EU?
Because it doesn't matter what you do to address the various problems that we might be facing, we will be fighting uphill unless we have the apparatus that comes with the EU. We are just making life hard for ourselves. So we'd never fully achieve anything. I'm not saying that we couldn't do certain things without being in the EU. We certainly could. But if you want a complete menu of tools with which to win the advantages we need in terms of our economy, in terms of our security, we need to be part of the EU, because the EU is something that was created in order to facilitate both those things. So all of the people who are already members of it are enjoying those advantages, and if we're not part of it, they will have a head start on us on all of those different things.
Okay, thank you very much, Gareth.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm here with Douglas in front of the Labour conference in Liverpool. Douglas.
Good evening. How's it going?
Very good, and you?
Amazing, thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Your T-shirt has quite a message. Labour is dead. Why do you believe that?
Well, basically because it's been taken over by the predator class who they saw that the end of the Conservative Party was coming, because after Corbyn nobody really believed in being screwed by the predator class any longer. So they realised they needed a lifeboat, and they found that lifeboat in Keir Starmer, who's basically lied his way into the front of the Labour Party in order to serve the interests of the predator class, so they can keep screwing us, basically. And it's no longer serves the interest of the many. It no longer serves the interest of the planet or the people of this country. It's a disgusting farce. It's a neoliberal, ugly neoliberal capitalist sham, basically. So yeah, Labour is dead.
What's the answer, though?
The answer, well, to be honest, I'm quite nihilistic at the moment. I think, as Starmer and Streeting have already mentioned, they have literally said that they wanted to destroy hope. That's the reason they were put there, because obviously the Gardener kind of inspired hope in people, and the predator class don't like it when people have hope, because then people kind of start talking to each other, they start organising, and they sort of start realising that there could be a better way to organise society, and a better way to live, and a better way to move together as a civilization. And so I'm kind of a bit stuck on that at the moment, because people are buying into this. You know, people are, because the Labour Party, let's face it, they got two policies: destroy the left, and they're not the Tories. The only hope is for all these disparate leftist groups who are disappointed with this and distressed by this to start coming together. So, like, you know, the LGBTQ communities, the various leftist communities around the climate and stuff. There's a new incentive called for the Many Network, which hopefully is going to start joining the dots between these different groups, between the unions, and just between ordinary people who are just sick of this charade that we call British politics. So hopefully, I think that's the only way forward, really, is to totally bypass the whole game.
It shut me up now.
I'm sorry. No, I think there's. I mean, the thing is, there could be hope in the long term, but the real pressing point is that we haven't got a long term. Like, we need to keep the oil in the ground now. Yeah. We can't wait for like a massive wind farm company to give Streeting or Starmer a big enough backhander that he suddenly goes, oh well, now of course I love tree huggers. Yeah. You know, it's like we can't wait. It's like our species has got like this long before we're all burning. Nobody's got a good word to say about Keir Starmer. Nobody. Nobody, apart from other predators.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. But you know, it's a nice day. It's a nice day. It's going to get warmer for a few years. We've had a lovely summer. As the planet gets warmer, we're going to have some lovely summers here in the temperate north.
T-shirt
so that's going to be it's October. So you know, it's like there are good things. I mean, obviously, in 20 years, your kids are going to burn or boil or be deciding if they want to eat you or your dog. But you know, for now, it's all gravy. Especially if you're a member of the Labour Party or one of their predator class sponsors.
On that cheerful note, thank you very much. I'm back home. I actually took the train back from Liverpool. Took about 40 minutes. Took me another hour to get home from the train station to north of Manchester. And I'm back where I started this morning, walking my dog. What day did we have? Actually, it was an extremely nice cycle from Manchester to Liverpool via Runcorn, about 80k from my house door. So from Manchester it will be about 20k less. The route is mainly off-road. From Manchester there's probably only about 10k on the road. Really enjoyed it. Conference-wise, noticeable was there was a lot of people on the left who are extremely unhappy with Starmer. I sympathize. I think he is in a city where the sun is shunned, but Starmer himself needs papers like the Sun to sway people that usually vote Tory, and you can see it in his actions and in his words. And let's see what he will come out with at conference. It will be interesting.